trying to start sports, hip hop, and talk.
Think about hip hop nowadays.
Man, hip hop nowadays is, you better look at it for entertainment. Because if not, you didn't get much out of it. You know, so I mean the beats are cool. I don't really know what a lot of people are saying, but you know, it'll bob your head and makes the night fun if you're at the club. But
so what era would you say was your favorite era of hip hop?
I mean, I'm somewhat younger, so I was born in the early '90s, so late '90s, early 2000s.
So what would be some of your favorite rappers, artists, and things like that?
My favorite rappers, personally, DMX and Jay-Z are my two favorite rappers ever. No disrespect to like Big, Pac or anything like that, but you know, they died in 95, 96, 97. You know, I'm 5, 6 years old at that point in time, so by the time I really got to listening to music, it's 99, 2000. X is the hardest thing in the streets at that point in time, you know. For real, you know, and you know, I think my first concert I went to was a DMX concert. This dude came out in a damn dog kennel. I thought it was the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Came out in a dog kennel?
In a dog kennel, like from the top of the daggone stadium. This dude just dropped in the middle of the daggone thing. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. So I mean, you know, Jay-Z, DMX, 50 was big on the diplomats. You know, I'm personally state property fan.
Think about this guy, Tekashi 6ix9ine.
Like I said, man, if you listen to it for some pure entertainment, if you're going out Friday night and you're in the club, and that joint jump off,
that's the thing to listen
to. You better be with it. You know, it does what it's supposed to do. You know, some part of music is, you know, entertainment. It's about getting people to feel good or, you know, jump around, to be in a moment, and I think he does a good job capturing that. All the other stuff that he gets into, I mean, that's I think it's really corny. I don't think a dude with rainbow hair is gonna be that tough, to be honest with you. You know, but at the same time, he also has said in interviews like, listen, man, I just be saying shit. It just sound good. And people fuck with it. So, you know, he's making his money. So, you know, I'm not gonna knock his hustle, but I would never put him in the same respect as an artist or as like a lyricist.
Your favorite song?
My favorite song, hands down, point blank period, is Freeway, Beans, Jay-Z, What We Do. That is the best song in the history of any song. You need inspiration, you need bars, you need a vibe, you need a beat, you need motivation in the morning. You know, there's no song I'm going to better.
What about this, my guy Bill Cosby?
Growing up, Bill Cosby was the definition of a father.
He got
for
that
a lot of dudes who didn't have one. You know what I mean? I don't. Honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know. I mean, I think that there is something to be said about, you know, sexually assaulting women. You know, that can't be looked over, passed over, anything like that.
Right about that.
And just knowing the times that you were living in back then, you know, women didn't really have a voice. You know, so you know, it is somewhat surprising that it comes out right now, and then it's like it's a domino effect. One person says anything, now everybody's saying something. Now it went from you know, one thing to a bigger thing. You know, but I don't really know. I don't know how much of it is, hey, I'm trying to get some money. How much of it is
right about
you know
that.
Exactly. You know, this is actually really what happened. And I think that both sides of it has to be looked at kind of carefully, you know what I mean? Because you don't want to think that a woman is just saying something because they're looking for financial
popularity or money.
Exactly. But at the same time, you know, how does 30, 40 years go by, nothing gets said? That's things like, you can't forget about something like that when it does happen to you. So, like I said, you got to justify that side of it. I just think that from people who aren't really involved in the details of it, from a distant perspective, I think that you kind of just have to take it with a grain of salt and just say, you know what, like, if he did do it, I mean, dang, man, that's crazy.
It's crazy.
It's you know, you went from, you know, a father figure to a lot of people to, you know, a piece of crap. You know, and if people are doing it for financial gains, you know, that's just messed up.
Yeah, you're right about that. What do you think about, I don't want to say my president, but, you know, the president of the United States,
I mean,
unfortunately?
Honestly, I think that no one should really be surprised. He hasn't acted any differently than he did before he became president. You know, so it's not like a big shock to somebody who, you know, I mean, maybe it's a shock to people who wasn't paying attention, but like the same way he's acting now is how he was acting before. You know, he's woken up a lot of people, you know, who's kind of sitting in the dark for a long period of time. You know, there's mass shootings, all this other stuff going around. You know, honestly, but I think for people as a whole, you know, as African Americans, minorities in the world. I mean, if you're a middle class citizen, politics kind of sway left and right. It doesn't really, you know, what they say about healthcare. If you work a 9 to 5 and you get your healthcare through your job, most of the stuff isn't bothering you. You know, you should be more involved in smaller elections. You know what I mean? Like
the local elections.
Yeah, you need to know like what is your city councilman doing?
Yeah.
You know, what is the congressman doing in your particular state?
So that let me stop you. I don't want to cut you off and anything like that, but let me ask you this question: as a younger adult, you know, not a younger adult, but you know, of this millennium, what would you say to the kids that's growing up now? Like, what would be your reason to make them want to go out and vote? What would you say to them that would change their lives and make them actually want to vote?
Honestly, I would tell them that what they need to do is they need to watch everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that, you know, they say the definition of ignorance is trying to do the same thing over and over and certain different results.
Yeah.
I think also if you walk by 100 people every day and you haven't gained something from everybody that you talk to, you're probably being just as insane. You know what I mean? You should be picking up from a lot of things. A lot of people like to only listen to a side that they agree with. So like if for political sides, like if you are a Democrat, you only want to listen to Democrats. So you can say, yeah, that's right. You're ignorant. You know what I mean? Listen, you know, like I listen to Fox, I listen to CNN because I want to make sure that I'm as well-rounded with an opinion as possible. A lot of times it's easy to listen to somebody and it sounds good and it sounds like it's your situation specifically, and then that's what you run with, you know. And so sometimes people say, well, I'm a Democrat. Mm-hmm. Why? You know, like what do you know about it? You know, realistically, most people should probably be independent. Why? Because you're listening to both sides. You're not tied to a party. You're not tied to a specific side. You're tied to facts. You're tied to what individual.
A lot of people just vote Democrat or Republican because that's what their parents voted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, well, I don't know nothing else. I just know that's what my parents. He's always been a Democrat, so.
Yeah, you know, but it's like there's black Republicans.
Yeah,
there's black people who support the president now.
Yeah.
And so if he runs and you're like, well, I'm just gonna vote for him because he's black and I'm black. You just dumb as everybody else.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? So you got to kind of look. You got to listen to these things, like, you know. And I'm not saying that you got to be like a political aficionado or anything like that. Like, but you should definitely be aware of what's going on. Like I said, and on a grandstand of things, it's probably not going to matter. You know, yes, it matters that you vote, you get out there, but you know how you're going to make the most impact in your community. Little things, man. Go find out who your city councilman is. You know, make sure that you know who the mayor is, what their views are. You know, your city, like I said, your city councilman, anybody who is affecting your city, your state, where you can see change on an everyday basis. That's where you really want to make sure that your voice is really heard. You know, so if you're not in tune with what happens at City Hall or anything like that, then you know you're just watching the news. Man, depending on what channel you put it on, depending on what you think is true or not.